we'd like to start tonight with prayer and pledge. Prayer will be led by Councilwoman Seals, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
If anyone would like to, please bow your heads. Father God, we thank you for securing our beautiful city of Saginaw, a wonderful state in our country. We thank you for all the support and guidance and leadership from the past, present, and future. And we ask you now to continue to lead and guide us in all things. In the name of Jesus we pray, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Sylvia. Councilmember Sylvia.
Present.
Councilmember Seals.
Present.
Councilmember Ball.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Present.
Councilmember Ostash is absent. Councilmember Bradock.
Present.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Present.
Councilmember Hammond.
Present.
And Mayor Moore.
Present.
You have 8 members present and 1 absent.
Thank you. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out to City Council meeting. Little housekeeping. Please, all council persons up on front, please silence your phone and your computers. We ask that you understand this meeting is being televised, and so we ask that you be on your best behavior. No bullying, no clapping, no obnoxious behavior. And if you do, you will be asked to leave the chambers. This is not the chambers, but it's the chambers for us now. Okay, so Madam Clerk, do we have any announcements?
I don't have any announcements this evening, so that takes us to public hearings.
The purpose of the public hearing is for the public to address the council as a whole and for council to hear comments from the speaker regarding specific actions being requested. Speakers must limit themselves to the remarks of the subject of the public hearing. Please state your name and say if you are in support or if you are opposed to the subject of the public hearing. The main speaker or the designated representative should speak first, and they are allotted 10 minutes to speak. Any additional speakers have 3 minutes. This is not a question or answer period from the council, so please don't ask us questions because we can't ask you and we can't answer. Madam Clerk.
Our public hearing is regarding the request from Menards Incorporated to create an industrial development district at 1808 Veterans Memorial Parkway.
Do we have anyone here who would like to speak to this matter? Can you come to the podium, please?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Nick Brenner, 5101 Menard Drive, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I am here on behalf of Menards. So Menards right now is proposing a new project at their manufacturing facility at 1808 Veterans Memorial Parkway. Today we have a concrete manufacturing plant there where we make our concrete blocks, pavers, retaining walls, things like that for our stores. We also have a distribution cross dock where we do some distribution out of there for our stores as well. About 3 months ago, we purchased an additional 3 acres on that facility. We are now up to 30 acres total on this property. And we bought it because we are extremely tight on site. We have pretty much used every square inch that we possibly can. We finally were able to get one of the adjacent neighbors to sell some ground to us. So we bought it, banked it, and then we were able to actually take a look at what else we can add to that facility. So doing that analysis, we decided that it'd be actually a pretty good fit for what we call our bagging facility. This is where we bag different aggregate products such as Portland cement, pea gravel, gravel, any of those things that you see in any home improvement land and garden section. We have these plants scattered throughout the Midwest. We do not have one here in Michigan. So that is why this ended up being a decent fit. What this will do is it will service all of our stores in Michigan along with some in Ohio. So as part of this, what we are looking at is requesting an industrial development district. This will allow us to, and what we've already applied for is the PA 198 tax abatement. This will help us recoup some of the costs that we are going to incur on this facility. Because this property is contaminated, we do have extra costs like hauling off excess soil to a designated landfill that we will incur at this particular location. We don't have this cost at some of our other options in Indiana and Ohio. So we are looking for some assistance from the city to help us overcome some of these costs to make this a viable project. The metrics of this facility, right now we have, depending on the time of the year, roughly 75 to 80 employees at this facility that we employ. This project itself is going to add somewhere between 5 on the low part of the season, upwards to about 9. But the big part of this is between the property, the building, concrete, equipment. We are looking at over a $20 million investment to build this here in Saginaw. So a large amount of money. This tax abatement doesn't even get us close to that, but it will help us to take care of some of the environmental issues that we have, and is why we're here tonight seeking some assistance to bring this project here to the city of Saginaw. If you guys have any other questions, more than happy to answer any. Otherwise, I think Sageno Future is here as well to speak on the project.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else who would like to speak to this subject matter?
Good evening, Mayor Moore, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, and to all members of City Council. Greetings as well to Manager Morales and the City Clerk. My name is Steve Hensley, the Community and Economic Development Director for Sageno Future. Once again, Sageno Future is the economic development organization serving the County of Saginaw, including the City of Saginaw. I'm here before you this evening to speak in support of Menards Incorporated's request for the industrial facilities tax exemption regarding the redevelopment of the current land, as Nick has mentioned, along portions of Veterans Memorial Parkway, North Washington Avenue, and Finley Street. However, realizing that this evening the establishment is under consideration is for the Industrial Development District, and it is the first important first step in this process. Although most people think of Menards for its retail store operations, many do not realize the extent of Menards' manufacturing division, a portion of which is located right here in Saginaw, one of few in the Midwest. Over approximately the past 15 years, Menards has continued to expand its manufacturing operations in Saginaw through advanced investments that include property, infrastructure, equipment, and jobs. The current Menards project consists of the construction of a nearly 39,000 square foot building, as well as associated grading, paving, and utility improvements. This building will bring a brand new bagging production facility, as Nick mentioned, to the city. The new operation will bag a wide range of products, including aggregates and Portland's cement, which are then sold at Menards retail stores, even beyond Saginaw. Menards land and building investment through the current expansion equates to over $5 million in cost, and then combined with that is a projected $15.5 million investment into new equipment upgrades that will go into that facility, which is over $20 million, as Nick mentioned. We believe the redevelopment of this project is a practical use of the land, creating additional investment, future tax revenue, along with new jobs. Establishing the allocated parcels as an industrial development district is an important first step in supporting this project. On behalf of Sageno Future, we do appreciate your consideration and thank you for this opportunity.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak to this subject? Number 2, is there anyone else who would like to speak to this subject? Last and final time, is there anyone else who would like to speak to this subject? I need a motion to close this hearing.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Takes us to public input.
Speakers will remain courteous and respectful. When you approach the podium, please state your name. the clerk will call you to the podium. You have 3 minutes to present what you need to present. This is not a question or answer period again, and it should not be directed directly to one of the council members up front. Madam Clerk.
Our first speaker is Melanie Velasco.
Hello, Council. So nice to see you guys. Tomorrow's gonna be like 90. My name is Melanie Velasco. I got some concerns for Saginaw, highly concerns for Saginaw. There seems to be a lot of abandoned houses, and a lot of them are right down Webster. And then, this is another thing that's puzzling me. Right in front of the hospital, the road is absolutely horrible. I would think that out of all the roads that need to get repaired and that have been blocked off, wouldn't you have the road that's right outside the hospital where people get out after recovery? It don't make no damn sense at all. Don't get it. I had someone in the hospital and we had to come out that road and walk and it's awful. And then I want to make another complaint about the basketballs, the rims that are, the basketball doohickey things. They're still in the street and they're going to cause a ruckus and someone might hit them. And then I want to make another complaint. Some of the tree branches, they come over and then they cover the road. So it makes it darker going down at Webster's another one. All that whole road from the hospital. The trees just block the light. And then you got these abandoned houses and block light and it's very, very dark. And I like to cycle, ride my bicycle. And being here, I just have so many memories of swimming. I just look for it's not there no more. But anyway, so I ride my bike a lot, and the roads are horrible. I've already fallen twice on my bike because and I'd like to put out, please, can you find a way so I can get my Maya cat back from my niece? Can you give a good word to the animal control? I have a home now. I'm not staying with my sister. I have a home now, so give me a good word to the animal control. I like my cat back. I don't know where Frankie's at, but they're 10 and 11, and I surely love them. I appreciate you all, and I think you're all wonderful. You have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Donovan Monte Gomez.
Hello, my name is Donovan Monte Gomez. I shall begin. June 27th, 2025. A hostage situation unfolded within the Saginaw Township Bank branch. Multiple law enforcement agencies responded to the scene. While I commemorate the officers for their valiant service, I rebuke the fact that it took them over several hours to end the situation at a satisfactory conclusion. The incoherent nature of our now deceased suspect resulted in irrationality incapable of reasoning with civilized society's laws, practices, and procedures. I argued that the fundamental law of nature is the law of self-defense. This was only codified in our Constitution of the United States during 1791 when the first 10 Bill of Rights were passed. I quote from St. George Tucker, "This may be considered as the true palladium of liberty. The right of self-defense is the first law of nature in most governments. It has been the study of rulers to confine this right within narrowest limits possible," 1803. I hypothesized that the bank branch has a no firearms policy. I argued that it took hours with a risk of loss of life in this situation could have been resolved a lot more sooner with a lawful concealed carrier within the confines of this branch. After all, most of us citizens who engage in commerce are doing the best to provide for our families and enjoy a quality of life that appeals to our own diverse interests. Now, as it currently stands, I was called delusional and hallucinogenic by my psychiatrists, case managers, and social workers, which I was court-ordered to partake in. Unless I apply for relief from firearms disability legally, I cannot purchase or possess a firearm. However, I disagree with the precedent that our state legislators have passed these red flag laws. What I've noticed underneath the over 100 pages of documentation is an existential threat to liberty and an extreme abuse of power by the Saginaw County Mental Health Authority. Within this documentation, I found extreme inconsistencies related to my character as a perverse way to tax oneself on the merits of being a danger to yourself or others, or in the near future, with virtually no evidence. except for the testimony of one man's word against another. Just because someone has a fancy degree behind their name does not mean they are an expert on future actions of an individual. What this structuring is a perfect disaster that revokes liberty within an unaccountable government that does not listen to the needs of the people, instead using them as a tax base. In conclusion, I argue that balance and act between public safety and security is critical to retain our liberty. However, we must not forfeit our rights in the name of public safety or leave our rights at the hand of arbitrary powers such as doctors. We must change the legislation that prohibits the restricted use of this right to keep and bear arms in certain facilities and must fortify our institutions with armed lawful citizens. Thank you. Sincerely, Donovan Gomez.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Teresa Goodman. On to Jodie Becker.
Good evening. My name is Jodie Becker. I'm a resident in the city of Saginaw, and I'm here to respectfully ask members of the council to consider the best interests of the people in the city of Saginaw and urge Monique Lamar Sylvia to take the necessary steps to resign from her seat on council.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Nathan Hanley.
Good evening, Council. Nathan Hanley, 1402 Owen Street.
You can pull the mic up.
All right.
It's just.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. Tonight, I'm here to ask Council to please send a memo and be advocates for the preservation of at least the facade of the Western Auto Building at 700 East Genesee. I'm aware we've come to this point again with many abandoned buildings that are historic, and we have pushback in the community, and then there's no plan. I'm aware that the council may be tired of coming into this position, but I want to kind of reframe why this building might be different and might be worthy of reinvesting in. Excuse me. Similar that we have to the Behringer, to the Jefferson Apartments, and to the Brewer Arcade buildings, where we have put money in as a city and as a county into buying these things, into stabilizing them, and we're seeing success with the Behringer and with all of those projects in getting them into the hands of respectable developers. One of the things that I think matters a lot about this building, beyond just, I think we can all recognize its historic architecture, being extremely unique in the city, is that I think this pocket with that and Green Block and a couple buildings around it on that stretch represent a smaller pocket of commerce next to downtown that's really, really important to preserve the opportunity to activate. If you look at spaces like Old Town, I grew up less than a mile from Old Town my entire life. I can tell you, 15 years ago, obviously, people were not patronizing businesses in the same way they do today. And I think part of that, beyond the investment we've seen in that area, is the fact that there are districts nearby that have been successful. We have the Fuzzies in Court Street District. We have the Scottish Inn in Gratiot in Michigan. We have North Michigan and Genesee. And it's important that there are dedicated neighborhoods and dedicated commercial districts in those areas that stitch together and connect areas. And if we lose this building, my fear is that entire district becomes unattainable. And if it does, I think that's going to be the detriment to all of the work that I know council and many other members have put into the revitalization of downtown. I don't think it's necessary, I don't think it's possible that downtown can be successful if we don't support neighborhoods like Jefferson, if we don't support neighborhoods like South Washington, if we don't support neighborhoods like the North Side, and all of these other pockets that support the broader population. I hope to be able to work and talk with any of you about this afterwards further. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Betsy Deerry.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. I'm Betsy Deerry. Tonight I'm here as the Secretary of the Old Town Saginaw Association. And unfortunately, last Wednesday at the meeting about the ARPA funds, it conflicted with our Old Town meeting and we were short officers due to vacation. But we did send a letter, and I've given a copy to the city clerk to share with all of you. I just would like to hit the highlights. First of all, I really, truly want to thank the council for appropriating funds to the Lawn Chair Film Festival, the ARPA funds. The Lawn Chair Film Festival is now in its 22nd year. Given the age of our equipment, it was basically kaput. So the future of Lawn Chair was not, it had no future. So this has revitalized everything. We're very excited. The screen just went up last Saturday. It's new technology. It's an LED screen. It allows us to start the movies at 7 o'clock versus waiting till sunset, which put everybody home at midnight on a Sunday night. Because of the way this is attached to the building, it had to be moved. So the only building in Old Town that had a big enough parking lot and a structure that could support the weight was the Case Building. So we have a new location, we have a new time, and this coming Sunday is the first movie, again, which starts at 7 o'clock. So working backwards a little bit, we are going to have a ribbon cutting to celebrate the ARPA funding, our new location, and the future of Lawn Chair. So we hope that all of you will be able to join us for the ribbon cutting if you'd like. We'd love to have you there. Working even a little bit backwards, as in the past, we've always had pre-show activities. This year they start at 5:30. And it couldn't be more appropriate, given what happened last Saturday night in Old Town with the tragic fire. We, months ago, had planned to have a Hometown Heroes. We're going to honor our hometown heroes. That's local veterans, the Saginaw Fire Department, and the Saginaw Police Department. It is especially meaningful and appropriate at this time, again, given last Saturday night. And so while I'm here, I also want to just give a shout out to the fire department and the police department. I've never seen anything like it. They were incredible. We understand that thanks to their good thinking, the building is saved. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Our final speaker is Christa Man.
Hi, my name is Christa Man. I was coming here to talk about my concerns about the approval of tasers. But the chief was able to call me and explain to me that this was not an increase in the arsenal, that this was just a refurbishing of the tasers that were here, that the officers already had. So I don't have any other concerns at this time with that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Madam Clerk.
Yeah, that takes us to remarks of council.
We will, council members, you have 3 minutes as well. You will be beat. We will begin tonight with Councilwoman Lamar. I'm Lamar Sylvia.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor. And I don't want to be beat, so I will be short. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you all for coming to your city council meeting, for everyone that had something to say. I know some of you all are anticipating me making a statement, but I will not use this platform for that. I will very, very in the near future be making a statement of what I will and will not be doing, but I will not use this platform for that. That is not for that. I came here to do business. I came here to do a job that I was elected to do, and that's what I'll be doing. Thank you so very much, and you have a wonderful rest of the day.
Moving back down, Councilwoman Hammy. Yes, that's how it goes. Normally it would go to here, then down to here. So it's to you.
All right, okay.
Oh,
We're
wait,
good.
hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute. Your note is confusing.
Last time, so you work that way on the table.
Right, so we going this way.
Yep, so Councilwoman Seals.
Y'all have to excuse us, because she wrote me a note, and it said, go to the end of the table. And so I went to the end of the table. I'm so sorry.
The other end, I guess.
Next, we have Councilwoman Seals.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to say that the Splash Park is reopened, so that is a good thing. I saw a lot of kids there. Our summer program is, we had a lot of kids that went to there, so it was good to see kids across the street from the YMCA having a lot of fun. So it's good for the city of Saginaw to see that location opened for our kids in the city. The Splash Park's open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. for the rest of the summer, so that is pretty cool. There are a lot of great things that are still happening in Saginaw in our city, and I did attend the citywide meeting also with Betsy, and I was there, and they showcased a lot of the recipients that did get ARPA funds from the city of Saginaw in the previous administration, and I just want to talk about a couple of them. I know the Black Arts Festival received funding, and I learned some things. One of them, that I didn't know that the Black Arts Festival was one of the longest running festivals in the United States. So that was pretty cool to learn. The Black Arts Festival will be held on the Morley Plaza off of 675, August 8th through 10th this year. So this is their 57th year doing that in the city of Saginaw. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's been running longer than I've been living, so that is that's impressive. Just listening to some of the things that they have accomplished. The CAC have done a lot of updates to their building and listening to what they have accomplished on in that area over there. The Hunger Solutions, and listening to how much they have done for the city of Saginaw. I was in awe listening to those two ladies and everything they've done in that building. Friends of Hoyt Park, listen to the renovations they put in Hoyt Park, and I remember going there as a kid, going sledding from the south side, walking down there and going sledding, and the renovations they put into Hoyt Park. The Great Lakes Bay Health, listening to all the things that's happening there. Even Houghton Jones Neighborhood Task Force, I used to work there as a teenager. All the different things they're doing in that neighborhood, they're still doing over there. There's a lot of great things that are happening in Saginaw. We're still doing good things in Saginaw. So I wanted to put that out there to make sure that we are saying positive things still. Thank you.
Next, we have Councilman Ball.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have too much to say this evening. Just want to hope Saginaw continue to do good. I'd like to, and I have been praying that we don't have any violence or any more violence this summer. I hope that everybody see fit to get engaged, our youth here in our community, to try to help them out. Come to find out that a lot of times they just need somebody to engage them that's an adult. I had the opportunity to spend some time with some of the youth in the health program this weekend. I have a hobby where I build decorative ponds with waterfalls, and I took one of the kids over to repair a waterfall that was been up for 10 years, and we got the opportunity to engage the two youths to help me rebuild it, and we had a good time doing it. They earned some money, and they even earned a nice tip from the gentleman that we was working for. I felt a little slighted. I didn't get a tip, but but it was always good to see the smiles on those guys' faces, so they earned some honest money. And they was tired when they went home, so I know they're not going to get engaged in anything else in the extra curriculum activity after that day over with. So, but I really don't have nothing to say, but I just want to ask everybody to please pray for our city, engage our children, and I guarantee this will be a better place for all of us to live in. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilman Bradock.
Good evening. Thanks, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I don't have much to say. I would just say tomorrow's going to be hot. Look out for, if you know anybody that's elderly in our city, go check on them, especially if they don't have central air. Okay, so make sure y'all check on our elderly. I had the opportunity to visit some throughout our church when it was hot, and I noticed that some people didn't have no central air. And so just check on the elderly, make sure they're okay. But other than that, I don't have much to say. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilwoman.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to everyone who attended tonight and those of you who took the time to sign up and speak. I appreciate your words. Just a couple of announcements tonight. Women of Colors, WOC, it's on State Street in the city, right? Davenport. They're having a meet and greet on the 17th, which is in a couple of days at 5 p.m. You can find out if you don't know what the Women of Colors does in this community. You should find out. If you have questions, they receive some of the ARPA funding as well. They do STEM programs. They do juvenile programs. They do a lot in the community. So if you can take the time on the 17th to stop in there and just to see what happens there. You can also participate in wellness activities. So they're going to have a couple of those. Saginaw CAP is having an annual block party, and that is this Wednesday. There's going to be music, food, vendors, games for the kids. There's a great basketball area. It's a beautiful field that they have there, and that you can find out more information by visiting Saginaw CAP on that. And like Councilwoman Seal said, the splash park is open, and we have a lot of good things going on in the city, and we have a lot of work to do. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate your interest because we need you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilwoman Hammy.
Thank you. First things first, I happened to be, it's my first time visiting Artesian Urban Bistro this past Saturday. And it just happened to be at that time when I was there that a patron spotted the flames across the street and immediately, alerted, said, "Hey, what's up with that?" There's fire over there. Within 10 seconds, you had 3 of those patrons on the phone calling the fire department. And I think when a couple people walked outside, you could almost immediately hear the sirens from the fire department getting ready to pull over. You could hear them, several blocks away. It took, I think, under 3 minutes for the fire department to show up and respond to that fire. It took about 2 minutes for the entire building to be completely wall-to-wall consumed in smoke, and the windows were popping and breaking outwards from the pressure of that smoke. It happened extremely quickly. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And it was amazing to see the fire department absolutely fearlessly tackle just insurmountable amount of pitch black smoke pouring out of that building. And it was also amazing to see the other employees, the Artesian Urban Bistro employees, just hop up immediately, turn off the stove, stop what they were doing, and the first thing they did was start rounding the block, knocking on doors, telling people they need to move, making sure there were no occupants, making sure that everybody knew what was going on, clearing the street, trying to get the cars out of the way, and they did. Was the amazing part. Within those 3 minutes that the fire department showed up, half the block had been cleared out from the cars that were there. So it was amazing to see the community come together in a moment of quick action. And it was also, disheartening when these sorts of things happen. But it was, just kind of processing that from the day. I'm really glad that we have so many people who are responsive. And thank you to the people who staff our boards and commissions, the folks who care, the folks who come out and pay attention to the stuff that we do not have time to look at. We do need you, as Councilwoman Wiggins said. So thank you for caring about buildings that need to be preserved. Thank you for caring about arts and festivals that deserve to be preserved for our community. I just wanted to give a heartfelt shout out and thanks to my community this week for being my community. I'm proud of you guys all the time. Thank you.
Next, we have Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Good evening, concerned citizens of the community. Thank you for all the speakers and coming out tonight, this evening. I just wanted to give a couple highlights. Friday Night Live has started downtown. They canceled last week due to the rain, so hopefully it'll pick up again, and this Friday is the downtown hoedown. So I usually go to the Latin Fest Fiesta there. So this cool booklet, they have so much events going on in the community. This Friday, the East Side Soup Kitchen, they're looking for volunteers for our food giveaway. If you would like to volunteer, it's at 8 in the morning. We do a drive-through, and I will be there helping. And if you know anybody that needs food, they can line up, and I know they start as early as like 5:30 in the morning because there really is a need for it. So if you know anybody, send them that way. Not too much to say either. Just thanks to Thomas Roy for putting on a great fireworks show for the city of Saginaw. It's always a good time to see all the people out there enjoying themselves with their families and very productive. I think that's all I have to say for this evening, so thank you and have a good night.
Good evening again. A shout out to the Fireworks Committee. We did something entirely different this year with it. We crossed the river. We weren't just at the island, we went over to the other side and we walked the crowd. So I really want to thank the community for coming out and being so supportive. On Sunday, it should have been Saturday, neonatal at Covenant Hospital celebrated 50 years. I can remember my son being in neonatal, only weighing 2 pounds, 3 ounces, 21 inches long. And the doctor, that was his doctor, was there. And I just started talking and he was like, I know you. And I'm like, how do you know me? But you know what? It is so good when you can go and actually brag on your city. They now have opened up where there were only 3 beds in that unit, it is now 55. So they celebrated 50 years of saving children's life. Not only did they do that, from 1 o'clock till 4:30, 5 o'clock, they had bouncy houses, snow cones, they had the whole 9 yards. Testimonials were given. Sometimes I think it's the small things that I keep in my mind. That was an activity that got changed, and I said I ain't going because they keep changing. But I'm glad I went because it gave me an opportunity to see some people who I hadn't seen in 43 years, because that's how old my son is. But it also gave me a chance to reflect that Saginaw does have a lot of things going on. I went golfing Friday in the rain, but I had fun. And the fun part was just being there and being out with people who didn't ask for nothing. Let me be me, and y'all know how I can be. But they let me enjoy the day. So, on July 19th, me and a girlfriend are going to do a bonsai. If you don't know what that is, that's at the Japanese garden. They have a class. They're gonna teach us how to do, Lord knows it's probably gonna die, but they're gonna teach me how to do a bonsai plant inside of my house. Please support them. The tea party is, if you wanna come to the tea ceremony, is $10, please. If you've never been there, go visit. It will be worth your time, your money, and if you do the tea party, it's really worth it, because you get to drink green tea. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Mayor, that takes us to reports from the manager.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So a few items to report this evening. I did attend the Saginaw County Intergovernmental Cooperation Committee. So that is a county board committee, so you can attend as a member of the public. That meeting specifically had a presentation from Jenna Costa, who is with Housing Forward. She provided a presentation about housing in Saginaw County and different ways to think about development and scale development. If you don't know, Housing Forward is a housing initiative of the Midland Business Alliance and is now the administrative lead for Region G Regional Housing Partnership under the Michigan Statewide Housing Plan. That was transitioned from the Eastern Michigan Council of Governments, and you'll have additional opportunities to work with MCOG and Saginaw County and housing forward as the region moves on with the analysis and implementation. You can view the housing needs assessment and other housing documents at mcog.org under the housing tab. But at the meeting, I did make a comment about, I think, the need for additional collaboration and cooperation in Saginaw County regarding infrastructure. So I think it's a point of the city that we have to think about is the water system that we own and maintain and how we utilize that for additional development. So we're gonna need to strategically think about any time we expand that system and what our needs are and what our future looks like for manufacturing and other services. So that's going to be a key point of focus. So I think it'll be important for us to work with the other local units to discuss that moving forward. Hopefully we can set up a group that discusses that and meets at least semi-annually or quarterly. As several council members mentioned, we did have the extra citywide meeting, so I do want to thank the organizations that presented and the citizens who attended to hear the reports on the ARPA work. I know most of the organizations that did receive ARPA funds are very excited to share their projects, and thank you for Mrs. DePerry for updating on the Lawn Chair Film Festival. I know they did report that they couldn't make it to that. We will be having the second meeting in August, our next regularly scheduled citywide meeting. We'll have additional groups. Beyond that, I did get invited to the Mexican American Council building to take a tour and see the work that they've done there with the ARPA money, and I think a lot of the organizations would be willing to do that. If council members are interested, we can help set up those things. And they have done that in the past, but I think a lot of them are continuing to move forward and would be happy to share that work that they're doing. I wanted to also give an update on the City Hall project. So they're moving along. The estimated completion timeframe for Phase 2, which is the first floor update, is currently late August to early September. So every time we order, there's potential for delays. So we could see the progress be set back because of that, but we're hoping that they're on time and get that done by September. And I think that will be very positive for the public because most of the services that are visited by most of our residents are on the first floor. So when they return to their regular offices, I think it will be a benefit to them. Phase 3 is the second floor update. Currently, that's in the planning and coordination phase so that they can begin work immediately following the completion of Phase 2. And I did have an item that I wanted to report about the Saginaw Fire Department, Police Department, but I will piggyback on Councilwoman Hammond. Our fire department has outstanding response time, and I would put the Saginaw Fire up against any department in the state for the return time. With limited resources, I think it's fantastic. So I'd give them a congratulations for that too, and all the responses that they have to fire in the city. And in 2020 and 2021, we did receive multiple complaints, and several of you probably remember we had fireworks going off every day and every evening, most of the night. So we tried to think of different ways that we could address that. We set up 1-800 lines, different things like that to report. So what we decided to do eventually, we did have pairing up of firefighters and police officers, and the intent was to respond to those calls. It's very hard to figure out where a firework is coming from when someone does report it. So those teams would go out if we got complaints in a neighborhood and try to locate the individuals, and it wasn't necessarily something where we wanted to issue citations for it. It was to educate on the fireworks laws and talk about fireworks safety. It's not, you can't shoot fireworks off every night, either by state law or city ordinance. So it's more of an educational process, and we continue to do that to this day. And both police and fire chief did update me. It was that collaborative effort led to an interesting case and an arson arrest that on that shift. And wouldn't typically happen, but They were patrolling, some neighbors flagged them down and notified them about what they saw. They investigated, and since they had fire personnel and police personnel, they could determine the attempted arson and do the law enforcement at the same time, and the neighbors were able to point out where the individuals went, and they found them and did take care of it. So I wanted to point out that collaboration, so hopefully that's something we can continue to do, and also thank the citizens for reporting those items. So that's a great job by them, both police and fire. At our last meeting, we did have our strategic planning session final report delivered by Nancy Oley, our consultant. So I wanted to kind of share where we are right now and the next steps. And for the public, I know council is aware, at the strategic planning session, council worked as a team to develop the mission statement, the vision statement, and goals. But I do think it's still appropriate for a city council to approve and adopt those items. So that can be done at any time. I don't think from the discussion we had at the last meeting that there was any concern about changing those particular items, the mission, vision, and the core values statement. That motion could be made during motion and miscellaneous tonight, or if you'd prefer, I can add it to upcoming council agenda. The city council and the city department heads have been provided with the presentation report and the survey data, including the raw data and comments that were completed by residents. The department heads are currently reviewing the recommendations and goals as well as the survey comments to ensure they align. Department heads will review with their staff to determine if they would recommend any changes or modification to items based on current operations or data. And they're going to provide me with that prior to the next city council meeting. And I think that's an important step, just because even going through it with Nancy prior to the report out to council, I did find some things that we're already doing or we're already have done, or maybe I think she mentioned the item about percentage of city employees who are city residents. I think there was a goal in there of 10%, and we're already double that amount. So items like that are what we want to kind of look at. So with that information, I would bring that back at the next council meeting, and any changes and recommendations, if there are any, I will report those back out to council. And at the same time, I would ask council if you have changes to those, if you review them and review the comments as well, to make them at that time. I think that can be done under management update during the regular meeting. So I don't think we need any special meeting for that. And the remaining next steps, as outlined in the presentation, I think are workable for us. Another item that was recommended that I think we could look to set up and should very soon, the lifting of the tax cap had the most priority votes for economic development of the urban core, but there were also multiple comments from the community in the survey about transparency and the use of tax dollars. So I think this is an important topic to talk about. The strategic plan recommended having a working session. I agree with that. So I would recommend doing that prior to a council meeting so that all the council members are available. I would recommend doing that at 6 p.m. at one of our upcoming meetings. So if that's agreeable to council, I think we can schedule that. Perhaps the first meeting in August is what I would recommend, if that's something that council is ready to move forward with. Okay, that concludes management update.
You just said that. I'm like, is he done? Are there any questions for the city manager? Councilwoman
Thank you.
Lamar Shelby.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Thank you very much for your report.
Gotcha.
I'm definitely in agreement with having a meeting in regards to the tax cap and anything that we can do to get information out in regards to that. So But in regards to the ARPA funding, the ARPA funds report, I had sent you, I don't know if you got it, I sent you an email earlier. I don't know if you were able to look at that?
I saw it, I didn't get to a response yet.
Okay. So, I was just looking for a little more information, and it seems like each entity, they did their reporting, but it seems like none of them were in line with reporting for each area. So I was kind of looking for a little more. CAC did they were awesome. Their report was awesome. And I know everyone else, they did a pretty good job, but it really wasn't what I was looking for to get information from the entities, looking for a little bit more information. And I was wondering, did city staff give them sort of something to go by as far as reporting or making their...
I think the invitation asked them to provide an update on how they had utilized the funds or planned to utilize the funds. So, all of them are working quarterly, as we talked about, with the financial reporting. So I didn't expect that they would update on that, but yeah, I agree there are varying levels of reporting out on what the projects were and what they entailed.
Right.
But we had varying kinds of responses too, from organizations that were very happy to present and talk about what they do to, and I'm not going to call anyone out, but some of them asked, why do we have to do this? So, it's a varying type of response. So hopefully it's what they, what they make of it. But if there's more, that we want to do with those organizations, I think it's perfectly acceptable to contact them and say, hey, council would like you to have an open house so that we can see the work, or come back to council and provide provide an update on specific activities or whatever it happens to be.
Okay. And then the second part to this, I'm just kind of concerned, and I have made these concerns on several occasions in the past couple of years, at least the last year and a half, in regards to the $5 million for the medical, not medical doctor, I'm sorry, the mental health. And they are the only entity that has not spent any money. And I'm just wondering if it's a possibility where that would fall back on city council or even the city. If that money isn't spent or is not being utilized at all, how would that fare? Because that's the only, I don't know if we're doing it right. Are we utilizing those dollars correctly by just allowing an entity not to spend any of that money? And it's been over 2 years, and the deadline is almost here, where other entities could utilize those dollars right now?
So that's not true. They have spent the money.
They just said they didn't.
No, they signed I believe he said, because this is what they've done in the reports, they've signed a development agreement and have paid for prepaid construction costs and design costs.
And so how much was that?
$5 million.
So they spent that $5 million already. Did they not get that some kind of way? Did they not come back or something?
No. Did it not come back?
Did someone get some money back for that $5 million or no?
I don't know what you mean.
Okay, that's all right. Thank you.
Councilwoman.
Thank you. So my first question, and I'll just add, I would like to see a transparency work group. As you mentioned, I was a little bit confused. Just send us an email with what you mean, and but I support the concept. My question is, we had a discussion via email over the Riverfront Development Commission, because during my time in council, I haven't seen a report from them. And also, I've been trying to attend every single commission meeting that the city has, at least 2 or 3 times. There's been a couple I haven't been able to get to. I think that's important because we don't record all of those meetings. But I'm not really sure what the Historic District Commission, for instance, what buildings they're taking a look at, what kind of assessments they're doing, what kind of funding they're spending. I would really like to see more information from our commissions on their activities and what, you know, they're really doing, because I couldn't tell you what buildings they're looking to preserve or which they're looking to, because I think it's important as we're talking about strategic planning. We should be able to develop that work into our goals, into our future goals, where, you know, we couldn't save this building because we didn't have the $150,000 for the grant match with this organization and that and that and that. So I think that getting those reports would be really helpful. I'm not sure what the format would best be, but do you envision some kind of reporting structure or documentation sharing, or like a work group maybe on kind of getting that information up to council?
Yeah, so specifically Riverfront, I think, was one, and we
Yes.
talked about that, but that committee hadn't reported out for a long time, and it was close to being dissolved, I think, more than once. But I think it will be more active, and I think you would get those reports, but also a great opportunity to do that, and you know, we'll have to talk to Ms. Bland, because part of the redevelopment ready community part is to get the committees together in one meeting and kind of report out and share information. And I know we've done that multiple times, and maybe after the meeting you can talk to Yolanda and see where that is now, and what type of participation we've had in the past, but it might be an opportunity to increase that participation and get that reporting out.
Thank you. And then I did have a second question, also born out of the same ARPA discussion, because around ARPA dollars and how we determined they needed to be spent, it seems like we determined as a council that they needed to be spent on capital improvement projects, and something that was aligned with the spirit of ARPA, as well as the way that the city decided to use it, was for shovel-ready projects, which for this particular building, it doesn't seem even now like it's shovel-ready. I was in a conversation with the person who presented, and they don't own the land that the building is proposed to sit on. They don't know how much it's going to cost. They're not sure of the square footage. They don't have all the financing lined up. So if that money isn't, you know, it's spent with a developer agreement to promise to build something that they're not even sure of yet, it just seems like it's a different standard than what a lot of the other nonprofits that I talk to and a lot of other groups I talk to. So can you walk me through that, and is it different?
Well, no, I don't think it's different, and I think perhaps the ideal would have been all shovel ready, but that's not true either. All of the projects were not shovel ready. They weren't all capital. A lot of it was programming. So another project that I think is similar, not exactly the same, but is the let's see, which one is it? Is it the Boys and Girls Club? Yes, which is right over here. I don't know if they've actually started the construction work yet. No, they haven't. I'm looking at the staff that work on this. So that is a long-term planning project too. So they know what they want to do, but they're in engineering and Eagle permitting process, all of that right now as well. So there are a few projects like that. The food club was also like that. They didn't have any property when they started. I'm not, most of the projects that are significant projects, I don't know that we've gotten into their procedures on, do you have this much money? What other fundraising are you doing? Because most of the projects that were big, significant capital projects, we didn't fully fund. I know that the food club is progressing, but I don't know what their other fundraising is and how their financing is. I would, looking at Yolanda and Lori, but they work with him every day. But there are a number of projects like that. Great Lakes Bay Health, I will say that they have probably the best opportunity for additional funding compared with a lot of the other groups because they do have the ability to bond. They do have the ability to raise funds. They're a federally qualified healthcare provider. I talked to Jamie Furbush as well since that meeting, and he said worst case scenario we build a $5 million building. So they do have these thoughts and ideas about moving forward. I don't expect that to happen. I expect to see the building that he talked about with the services, which we talked a lot about a lot of the organizations that were at the citywide meeting talked about leveraging this money and bringing in more money because a lot of them were spending, more than what they were allocated. I think this project in particular, if it comes through as they are in the planning process, is going to give us far more than behavioral health, the additional behavioral health clinic that we talked about initially.
Councilman Ball.
First question is, I didn't hear it in the report from Menards. How many people are they planning on employing with additional land?
Okay, we can do that when we get to the resolution section, Councilman Ball. He can come back up and answer.
Okay, I didn't know if we can do that with the resolution. That's fine.
No,
Okay.
need to be over here.
Okay. And the other question is, when is if I'm not mistaken, the deadline to have that money spent is 26, am I right?
Yes, the end of 26, so
Or the end of 26?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got plenty of time to get some, I think we're fine.
Yeah, every organization has been working
Okay.
very closely with Guidehouse and,
Okay.
and our staff.
Thank you.
Now you got us in the sun. It's killing me. Hold on.
I had a question, but it was asked. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm a bit confused. I won't say confused, but
You gotta talk louder.
the gentleman that made the report for Great Lakes Bay said the money was going to be spent. He didn't say it was spent, so I'm confused that you said it was spent. He said it was going to be spent. So what is it?
I don't know what he exactly said, but we have the financial report
Okay.
that shows the check
I'd like to see
and the
that.
agreement.
Okay, can I see that, please?
Go ahead, Lori.
And also,
Hold on.
oh, okay.
Hold on.
You have it today?
No, we actually have a signed development agreement, but we need his canceled check and his invoice, and I've requested that to close out the grant. It's money spent by 12/31/26. So you don't have to see a building by then. It can be under development.
Right, okay. And so the next part is, thank you very much. The next part is, will Guidehouse be making a report?
We don't have any more plans for them to report, so I'm not sure if it's on there yet, but Vicki Davis and the staff are working on that updated spreadsheet to
Okay.
show you remember what we used to do with the amount spent, amount allocated, amount spent, and progress.
Okay.
So it should be up on the website this week.
So will we be getting information on what they spent, travel, all this, as far as Guidehouse, the whole?
Oh, on their amount?
Right,
I
yeah.
think that's on the spreadsheet, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it should say.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Councilwoman.
Thank you. I have one additional question on the strategic plan. So last time that we were kind of here, I agree that we do need to kind of vote to make sure that we are all in alignment and, passing through the mission goals and objectives. But there were, to put it very bluntly, there were goals that we didn't have recommendations for numerically that were completely missed in terms of, I don't want to say missed, they were acknowledged, but obviously I care a lot about housing and trying to develop housing, and that was something that the goal had been shored down to, well, we'll work with the county. And that's not, a numerical goal like some of the other organization, or some of the other departments had, which, if we acknowledge that we don't have total control over numbers in one department, I think we can acknowledge we don't have total control over what gets built, but we can make sure that the goal is there to kind of inspire cooperation, to get the meetings, to make sure that all of our agencies and all of our organizations, both internal and external, are kind of aware that the city of Saginaw is taking a leadership role in, aligning with the goals that I think were outlaid in the housing study. So when will we have the opportunity to develop more concrete goals specifically with those, with recommendations on housing?
Well, interesting that you ask, because I think one of the points that as we move forward, and you're right, I think some of the goals are quite broad. I think the opportunity to get into that specific amount, and particularly with housing, I was thinking we could form a staff council group to work on that and interface with the county and other groups. So I think if we can form that group, Yolanda Bland works on housing with CDBG, and Cassie Zimmerman works on housing. You get one or two council members who are interested in that. That can be our group that liaisons with the county and the other communities. And also, you could develop more specified goals as part of that group, I think. I think that aligns with that broad goal. And I think that aligns with my other point that I said previously, where we need to start looking at our infrastructure resources strategically, because we do want to encourage development in the city. So how do we do that, and how do we have that moving forward? I think that housing part can play a big role in that. If you read through that strategic plan, and I know there's a lot of information there and there's a lot of data in that raw data, but a lot of these, when I look at it, I start to think what departments work on what, because I think that utilities infrastructure portion does align with the housing, and it aligns with economic development. So a lot of these things are going to be working together. So I agree, there's opportunity there.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I want to piggyback on that. It seems as though, we've been working with Saginaw Future for some years. We help those guys out, and hopefully we hope they will help us out. But it seems like they should be looking for housing too. It seems like Saginaw Future should be actively looking for housing for the city of Saginaw, and I haven't seen it happen. So, maybe we can, could you pass the word?
I will say that, yeah, I'm certain we can have someone from Saginaw Future be on that team, and I want to say that that's Steve. He's working on housing right now. So they have, over the past several years, they have dedicated a staff member to housing, but they do work countywide. Tim Dempsey, if you remember, he was working on housing with Saginaw Future. He's left the organization, and Steve is working on that now. So I think Steve would be perfectly willing to be a part of that team that I just mentioned.
I'm just saying, everybody said they work on it, I know they work for the county, but we work for the city. We need stuff in the city.
I agree, and I think they can play a pivotal role in the identification. So talking about that alignment of a lot of the items in the strategic plan, I think one of the goals said identify 5 potential manufacturing or industrial sites. Right. They can assist with that too. And we have some of that in our redevelopment ready plan already, but I think a lot of those items do align, so you'll see a lot of the same people working on those.
Well, that's good. Sometimes you get new blood in the organization, they have a tendency to shake things up a little bit, and we're looking forward to Steve doing that. Thank you very much, Steve.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk.
On to the consent agenda.
The consent agenda has been available at City Hall and on the city webpage and on SGTV channel 191. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, leaving room for exceptions.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Are there any exceptions? 30. Yeah, that's me. Are there any other exceptions? Madam Clerk?
Item number 30 is to approve the contract with Jodie Brothers Excavating Incorporated for $1,832,365 for the lead service line replacement project for the Public Services Department Engineering Division. That was Mayor Moore.
Is this plumbing, or is this, I don't know if it's called plumbing, but it's called, what is it?
Lead line.
Not just the lead line. The people who are installing these pipes, are they certified?
They work under a certified plumber. So as part of the contract, Jodie Brothers employs a certified plumber, and the work is done under a certified plumber.
So they use, are they using local? Are they using unionized?
Let me get some help.
Are there employees in the union? Does this follow prevailing wage?
Yes.
I'm thinking it does.
Yes, it follows prevailing.
It follows prevailing wage, and I can't say that they're in a union for sure, but prevailing wage is usually as high as union wages.
We don't ask in the bid documents, is your company a union company, right?
Yeah.
But it's prevailing wage because of the funding source, correct?
Correct.
So, are these people licensed? That's my question.
They have to be working under a licensed plumber.
So
The
we have
licensed
licensed
plumber has to
plumber.
inspect everything, yes.
After the work is done?
They have to be there while the work is being done.
So I think, for kind of a brief explanation of a lot of these big construction projects, do you know when we get a lot of complaints about someone standing around or sitting in a truck? Those are usually the licensed inspectors that are there. So they do oversee the work while they're doing it, right?
Yeah, those inspectors are not licensed plumbers. There
Yes,
are
I
inspectors
know.
that document what is done by the contractor. So we have to make sure the contractor is following the specifications, following all of the guidelines by Eagle, following all the federal guidelines. And one of the rules is the work has to be overseen by a licensed plumber. Jodie Brothers has to have a licensed plumber on the job.
Another dumb question, have you seen it?
Have I seen him?
I mean, do we know that they actually have it?
I cannot swear to that because I'm not inspecting that job. I would have to check with Travis. Are you talking about the existing job?
I'm talking about we getting ready to approve this amount of money. And the question is just.
Oh, yes,
are
it's
we-
just-
Okay, I know that they've been doing it in the past.
Right.
Let's talk about present. Are we utilizing licensed people? Your answer to me was, we're supposed to.
I'm telling you that at the pre-construction meeting, that is one of the items that is discussed with the contractor, that he has to have a licensed plumber on the job site.
Okay.
And he's supposed to give you his
Is there,
contract.
wait, there needs to be a motion.
That should
There needs to be a
the
motion for further questions.
I'm sorry.
There needs to be a motion to approve the item before someone else can ask
I can't hear
questions.
you.
There needs to be a motion to approve the item before someone else can ask questions.
Oh, okay. I need a motion to continue this discussion. It's been moved second. Councilman Ball.
Normally on a contract like that, if you're supposed to have a licensed plumber, I'm sure, well, you guys are supposed to have the contractors, the licensed contractor's name on those particular bid sheets. Am I right?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I know I'm right. I think what she's asking is, have you seen that? That's what she was asking. Have you seen the proof
Well,
that they
I
got
think
the
you
guy?
have to have that licensed plumber on the prevailing wage sheets, the payrolls that are turned in. You know what I mean? We have to approve payrolls.
No.
I guess, maybe I don't understand.
I believe I understand.
Do you understand?
Yes, yes.
Sorry.
I forgot my spot.
We're trying to find out if we have a license contract.
Yes, when we review the documents,
Yes,
which
sir.
happens for city engineering reviews those documents, helps us review those documents. I can say, yes, I believe we've checked that. I have not seen that, is what I'm saying. So, and I believe that Beth's in the same spot, because we don't review those packages. We
It's
rely
part
on
of the
staff
it's part of
to
the
go ahead and go
project
through their
review
checklists, and if you don't have that on your checklist, you don't get to play. So we're running under the assumption that our staff did their job and went through the contract documents and make sure things are happening. Can I tell you that I saw the license? No.
Okay.
Yeah, the short answer is.
But I can look, yes.
The short answer is, if Rhodey doesn't have the licensed plumber on site, then they're in violation of the
Yes.
contract.
Yes.
I just asked a simple question.
Let her know.
It's been complex.
let her
It's
know.
not, it's a yes or no. Your answer was yes. So, I move to pass it.
It's already been made.
Excuse me?
The motion's already been made
The motion has been made to do what?
to approve the item.
That was not the motion.
Oh, somebody approved it before me.
It was. That's how you have further discussion as a motion to approve the item.
So just call the vote.
I'm lost.
You're still under discussion.
Okay, we're still
So
under
others can
discussion.
ask questions.
Yes, Councilwoman.
I'll ask my question. I guess for this particular contract, is Rhodey Brothers allowed to subcontract to other businesses and entities?
Yes, but the subs are approved, have to be approved,
Subs also have to be approved?
yes.
Okay. Do you know from your pre-construction meetings how many workers there are doing plumbing work on this particular job?
No
I
idea what the
don't know
crew
that he's
sizes
done a
are.
pre-construction meeting yet for this job.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought
Yeah,
you
you
said
wouldn't have that
Usually
until after
invited,
award,
so I
yeah.
don't- yeah.
This is a continuation. We've been removing lead service lines for some time now. We were able to get a shot at some SRF money to replace more lead service lines. So that's what we're doing with the same processes that we have been using. So that's when
And
we talk
since-
about pre-construction, we've had several of those.
So since it's had been federal dollars, it's prevailing wage and it's also Davis-Bacon? Required?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, because they're thick documents. and
We're
I
running,
want to
we're
tell you what I
running
actually
through
know.
there. I appreciate it.
What they doing is they using, union to get the higher wages, but ain't nobody union. That's just a bit of information.
Anyone?
I got one more question. These lead lines that they replacing, these are, when we gave them a contract before for $6 or $7 million to do so many lead lines. Is this additional lines, or this for the
Yes.
lines they're doing?
No, this is additional lines.
How many lines we gonna get out of this?
We believe just under 200.
Okay, 200. I'm just trying to add this
You're
up.
looking at about $8,000 a line.
$8,000 a line? And when we gave them the bid before, how much was we giving them for, per line?
Well, we thought in the beginning it was 10,000 a line. It's costing less, we got more or less on the last contract.
Okay, all right.
And some of it depends just on how far the run is, how hard getting that done. And as we do them through, we try to do a lot of these through the street repairs. It can vary. You can get a nice section where, well, we're knocking those out cheap, and then you hit a section where they're not.
Okay.
So this is the second set of money for
Third.
phase two? Or is that
This would be our third set of money.
I'm sorry.
This would be our third swing at additional funds coming besides what we're paying for ourselves.
Okay.
How many more lines we got to do?
Oh, goodness.
A bunch.
5,000? Yeah, over 5,000.
And we done how many so far?
We started at, I will report out on that, but I want to say we're out towards 12,000 and 50,000 total. So, but I can get you hard numbers on that. I gave you those ones off the top of my head.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Now I can.
I would request that the clerk read the motion on the floor.
It is to approve the contract with Rohde Brothers Excavating Incorporated for $1,832,365 for the lead service line replacement project for the Public Services Department Engineering Division.
Make a motion to approve.
It's been made and supported. There needs to be.
It's been made and supported.
Let's call the vote.
Okay. No more questions. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
On to board, commission, and committee reports. There was a no vote?
There was a no vote.
Oh, we have to, let me go back. Roll call.
Do we
Councilmember
have any
Sylvia.
reports from the boards? Or?
Wait a minute, Mayor.
We're doing
There
a
was
roll call on the last motion because there was a no.
okay.
Councilmember Celia?
Yes.
Councilmember Seals?
Yes.
Councilmember Balls?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradock?
Yes.
Councilmember Wiggins?
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond?
Yes.
And Mayor Moore?
No.
You have 7 yes and 1 no. The motion is approved. Now we are at board, commission, and committee reports.
Do we have any reports for any boards or commission that relates to the city that people may have attended? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
On to ordinance adoption. We have 1. It's to amend all of Chapter 153 zoning code of Title 15, land usage of the City of Saginaw Code of Ordinances O-204.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved. Okay.
It's been moved in second. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying.
She's got a question.
I'm sorry.
I just wanted to make a statement. I've been following the zoning code change since I got on council. It's been an incredible amount of work, and I wanted to thank the folks who've been spearheading it. I know and I understand that this is an exciting time to see these changes adopted. I'm even more excited to move forward with the spirit of understanding and like making things even better for the city. We're going to be moving into with the clear zoning model, so it's going to be a lot easier to navigate, a lot easier for folks to understand. If you haven't checked it out yet, I'd encourage you to do so. I think that as we move into our RRC processes, our master planning processes, this is going to be a critical document to work from and to continue to improve and make sure that we're continuing on the growth trend. But I'm very supportive of this document, and I'm very supportive of the spirit and aspirations of this document and the work that it took to get here, and I'm looking forward to more of the work moving forward.
Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
On to resolutions. Our first this evening is establishing an industrial development district at 1808 Veterans Memorial Parkway.
I need a motion to adopt.
Support. Second.
Yes, I got a question, was that proper, madam? Thank you very much. How many jobs is gonna have? They're gonna give us for this?
Thank you, Councilman
I'd like to know
Ball.
my wife can get one too.
Sorry, you gave me like 20 minutes to prep for this answer. This particular project's going to add, roughly it's going to be about 9. I've been saying 5, just to be on the safe side. So as I said, the existing plan today bounces between 75, 85, depending on the time of the year. Obviously, when it gets nice out, right, people go to the hardware store and buy stuff, so we see a big increase March, April, May, June. And then as, it kind of gets slower, people leave, right? There's people come and go all the time. We just don't necessarily fill those positions as people leave until, we come in February, March, then we start ramping back up again. So that's why I said 5, but we're looking at 9. If this site itself could get up to close to 100 during these busy months, which is a really good thing, because when we bought this back in 2010, obviously the block plant closed, so we purchased it and reopened it, and even last year we invested more money into the block manufacturing machine. We tore everything out, put new stuff back in. So it's been a great success story, and we're real excited to continue to invest in this community. And I said this program, again, will just help us with this particular project, but it also helps our payback so we can invest on the next project as well. So we do appreciate all your consideration here tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, Councilwoman.
Question for staff, because I think this was a topic of a long email thread during the budget season. I just wanted to make it, just clarify, make sure I'm on the right track here, because when we were looking at the budget, there was a big hole from tax abatements, industrial tax abatements. However, for these particular abatements that would come out of this process, that tax abatement is paid for by the state, right? Is this the one where they reimburse the city for the potential revenue loss?
I think you might be talking about eligible manufacturing, but this is an IFT, which is on top of the tax cap.
I'm not following.
There is a state law where manufacturing industrial can submit and then they don't pay personal property tax on their equipment. That's what we get reimbursed from the state of Michigan.
Yes.
So this is an IFT. So this is beyond the city's tax cap, and I think we talked a little bit about that on some of the other, maybe Oprah's. This is on a different tax roll, so we aren't necessarily losing out on any property tax.
So it's two separate things. You're talking about the essential services assessment for eligible manufacturing property in that email chain.
Mm-hmm.
But this is an abatement that's being granted, an IFT abatement, which is on top of the ad valorem tax roll, so it's on top of the 3.8 million. Does that make sense? That was a different conversation here.
Yeah, there were blending two conversations, but.
When we talked about Oprah's, that's when we said that was money on top of the tax cap, the 3.8. This is like that.
Okay. I guess when I was looking into industrial development district, that was a precursor to, I thought, getting the real property abatement for industrial, is it industrial just industrial property?
Yeah,
like
but this is real property, not personal. So the
Yeah.
ESA Essential Services Assessment is on personal property, which is equipment. This is an IFT on the real property, which is the building. So there's that too.
Okay, so are we going to be experiencing a revenue loss from
No,
this
an
particular
IFT,
abatement?
whether it's real or personal, is income on top of the $3.8 million tax cap.
Okay, understood, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Anyone else? It's been moved and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our second resolution is establishing military service contribution requirements for defined benefit.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our third resolution is authorizing sponsors of specified community events to use amplifying equipment.
Need a motion to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk.
Our fourth resolution is tentatively awarding a construction contract to Rohde Brothers Excavating Incorporated for water system improvements for lead service line replacements.
I need a motion to adopt.
So support.
It's been moved in support. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay.
Was that a
Roll
nay?
call. It was a nay.
Okay. Councilmember Cilia.
Yes.
Councilmember Seals.
Yes.
Councilmember Balls.
Nay.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Yes.
Councilmember Bradock.
Yay.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond.
Yes?
And Mayor Moore.
Nay.
You have 6 yes and 2 nay. That motion is approved. Resolution is tentatively awarding a construction contract to Rohde Brothers Excavating Incorporated for water system improvements on Weiss Street from Mackinac Street to Bay Road.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved to second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Next.
Our sixth resolution is tentatively awarding a construction contract to RCL Construction Company Incorporated for wastewater system improvements.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved to second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Madam Clerk.
Our final resolution is tentatively awarding a construction contract to J.R. Heineman and Sons Incorporated for wastewater system improvements.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
It's been moved and support. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Madam Clerk,
On to miscellaneous business.
do we have any miscellaneous, any motions? Yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to introduce an ordinance entitled and reading as follows: new ordinance to add section 12.044 titled Saginaw Commission to Address Homelessness to Chapter 12 of Title 1 Administrative Code of the City of Saginaw, Code of Ordinance 0-204.
I support.
Support. Discussion.
Mayor Moore, was this, are you
Pardon?
talking the same ordinance that was voted down at the last meeting?
At the last meeting. Yes, she
is.
Yes, she is.
Okay.
I believe it's worded different. It's not the same, exact same, but it's worded different.
I'm waiting on legal. It was voted down the last time.
Well, and I guess I'm a little confused as to whether or not it is in fact the same ordinance or if changes were made because the public had no notice of this prior to this meeting if it's been changed.
I'm not, you know what, I don't know whose this is. Councilwoman Lamar Sylvia is introducing it. And for me, I got a problem because I just got it.
Yeah.
So I really haven't had a chance to compare it to the last one, the beginning, or nothing. Yes.
I appreciate the concern. I worked on the motion, or rather the ordinance. It is fundamentally the same as the ordinance that was presented to staff. There was a confusion and a mix-up when the ordinance was presented to council. There were major issues with it that several members of the community brought forward. So now those issues have been reconciled. The current version of this ordinance, which per the rules of the city charter, needs to be laid on the table. So the first is to introduce the ordinance. So this is the introduction. At the next city council meeting, if it passes this check, it will be voted on to enact at the next council meeting, at which time it will be fully published for the public to read. But this is the ordinance in its entirety that I have handed out today. This is also the same language that was communicated to the rest of the council a few weeks ago before the previous meeting. Obviously, there was a no vote from almost everyone on council at that meeting because of the changed language in the drafting process. So now this reflects what the community was asking for, what I met with several community leaders and homelessness consortium leaders about, and this language reflects the needs and the addresses the concerns that both council and our public speakers had at the previous meeting.
But again, then this should have, correct me if I'm wrong, normally when we make motions, we go through our clerk and our attorney to make sure that we're not duplicating processes. Is this, I've got a problem with approving this. I'm not saying that I won't after I got time to digest.
Yeah, I
but
will affirm that this has had no legal review. This has had no staff review
That's
to
what I'm
make sure
talking
it's in proper administrative and legal form. We've never seen it.
And for me, our job is policy and procedures. The day-to-day operation and the other things is left up to the city manager. So I guess for me, I can't approve this because I just got it. And I think that we need to make sure that we don't get the same problem we got before. And then if the staff says it's a go, I'm down. But for right now, my vote is no.
I think what Councilwoman Hammond was saying is this is like a first step to that process. So that, you know, it's presented to us, do we want to move ahead? Do we want to look into this? Do we want this to go over a fine tooth? Do we want the public to, you know, get a chance to have their eyes on it, to comment on it? I think that's the changes that were made by Councilwoman Hammond. That's what was presented here.
I have a question. Is this a duplicate then of what the other committee came and talked about? The other one that does all this work, is it similar to that? It sounds a bit like it, that's why I'm confused.
It's not a duplicate. The language and the duties and the responsibilities of the commission are very different.
Okay.
Because that's what they had an issue with, was when they spoke,
Yeah.
they said, we agree with this part of it, we don't agree with this. So.
Okay. That was just because it kind of looked the same, that's what I was asking.
I would again raise concerns about introducing it. Part of the point of having an introduction, a layover, and then an adoption is to give the public, because you're putting a new law on the books. And so the public is supposed to have notice of that. Introducing it with no public notice, no ability of the public to view it prior to this introduction, they're not going to see it until the date of adoption in that agenda.
It's adopted 10 days after it's voted on. The effective date, as
It would
per
be
our
the next
charter.
council
It will be
meeting.
voted on next
Right,
council.
so the
meeting.
first time the public would see it would be the date that it was voted on for approval by council.
Yes, Councilman Ball.
How do we normally do adoption? Do the public get to see those adoptions before we vote on them?
Any ordinance, be it the full ordinance or an amendment, is part of the agenda when it's introduced, and it's part of the agenda again on its approval date.
Well, let me first.
So you saying she's improper by trying to introduce it now? That she should give it to you guys and then let y'all bring it back on the agenda as a ordinance? Or for us to maybe to adopt it to vote on later?
I'm saying that the public hasn't had any notice of it prior to this, and their first notice of it would be when it was placed on an agenda for approval.
So how's she gonna get it approved if she don't never bring it to the council?
It should be put on an agenda for introduction and put on an agenda for approval.
All right. Okay, I got you now.
Councilwoman Sylvia.
Okay, I'd like to.
That's fine.
I'd like to retract the motion at this time. So it won't get voted on.
What we may do is vote to postpone so that at the next council meeting, this exact ordinance with the exact language is up for a vote. And then it will be up for a vote again at the following meeting for that to be effectuated. So we have to introduce it to lay it on the table. So what we can do now is motion to postpone for the next council meeting so that the full language of the ordinance is available to be reviewed by the public and council, vote on it that day, to lay it over, and then effectuate it at the next meeting.
So,
I would recommend, rather than doing that, because I know, you're asking, council members are being asked to vote on it without most of you having read it. You can direct the city manager to assign this to the city attorney for review and to be placed on the next council agenda.
Thank you. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
Great purpose.
Second. She already retracted.
But when she retracted
We didn't vote on that.
She retracted her motion.
okay, so,
There was a
it's
second.
there.
Well, we're,
Please help us out.
What,
Time out.
I'm listening over
Time
at
out.
the table.
So because the motion was made and seconded, you can take a vote to vote it down because it was seconded, so it belongs to the
That's right.
body.
So we need to
Yeah.
take a vote on the very first original
Right.
motion to introduce it. Up or down? Up or down?
You can't retract it because there was a second, so it no longer belongs to you, it belongs
So
to
it's
everyone.
up or down? Yes.
I make a motion to amend the original motion to replace a motion to do, so a motion to direct the city manager. I'm looking at you, Tim, because I'm trying to repeat exactly what you said back to me.
I would recommend that you vote down the previous motion and then make a new motion.
That's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
We got a motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. Do we need a roll call vote because it was the majority?
Yes, anytime there's one nay vote, we have to do a roll call. Councilmember Sylvia.
Nay.
Councilmember Seals.
Nay.
Councilmember Balls. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Nay.
Councilmember Bradock.
Nay.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Nay.
You said nay.
Nay.
Councilmember Hammond.
Nay.
Mayor Moore.
Nay.
That motion is denied.
Now,
Okay. Now I would recommend a motion to direct the city manager to assign review of the ordinance to the city attorney and city clerk to be placed on the next council agenda. I'm making a recommendation.
I can only write so fast.
look, they sit by each other, so they'll have it. They'll have the language right.
Okay. You can just say that you would like to make a motion as outlined by the city manager.
So I changed my motion to be outlined as what the city manager has said.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, with the second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay.
We're still under miscellaneous business.
So do we have any more miscellaneous? Hearing none? Don't forget.
Motion to adjourn.
No, yeah, don't forget Friday Night Live on Friday.